I'm just trying to put in a video today. It's been a day or two since I put one in. Been busy. Had to switch providers. My old provider wasn't licensed in this state. And I'm coming to the end of my prescription for my ADHD meds. I'm already well past the day I should have refilled by about a week now, coming up on a week. But I've been making it stretch. But that's getting sorted. So I figured I'd just address a little issue today. I might make more if I feel like I have more energy later in the day. It's cruddy again. We had a day or two of some nice weather. It's an issue that came up in the comments for past videos. Specifically, I think when I went into how the feds, I went out to LA and someone just handed me mushrooms at a party. We'll get together. As like a party favor, and I was like, thanks. I'll do these later. And never got around to it because I was focused on working. And forgot that I had them. And then I was coming back across the country. Feds stole them from me, but didn't call me on them. Just took them. So that was pretty cool of them. Even though, I didn't pay for them, dude. I didn't go out of my way for them. They were just handed to me. And I was being responsible. That's the only reason I had them on me. I didn't take them because I was working on trying to stop bad people from doing bad things. Anyway. So a few people were commenting, because I said some stuff in that video that was I'm an artist, I went to art school, duh, going out to California and tripping balls on a bunch of psychedelics is kind of expected, practically. So people took offense to that, and they were like, I'm an artist. I've been working with clay or blah 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 my whole life, or my daddy did it too, he woodworked or whatever, and he never did a lick of drugs, and he took care of his family, and he worked day in day out, and I work so hard too, and I'm an artist. No, you're not, and your daddy wasn't either. You're confusing some terms. There's artisan and skilled craftsperson, and there's an artist. Those are two different things. Your daddy, the woodworker or whatever, even if he's a painter, even if he painted landscapes like Bob Ross, I wouldn't call Bob, I'm sure he was an artist, but what he did in terms of his television work, that was teaching art. That's not an artist, okay? There's a very real difference here. An artist is somebody like Ernest Hemingway or Van Gogh, Jack Kerouac, those kinds of people who live these kinds of a big part of what an artist does, most of our work is done in our minds. We explore our minds, and we explore the world, and we explore concepts, and we explore, we're scientists in a lot of ways. We experiment, and we experiment with materials. We do that too with paint and all kinds of media. And we're just basically trying to relay concepts or questions that we have about, or things that we're considering, or realizations we've had about society, human nature, politics, so on and so forth. We're relaying that to society in the form of a piece of content, work of art, something, a painting, a sculpture, something like that. This is how we get away with stuff like Andy Warhol. He was an artist because, why was he an artist? Because he printed prints of Campbell's soup. The concept behind it made it art. It wasn't otherwise it would have just been industrialized. It would have just been conveyor belt art, stuff that just comes off the factory floor, kind of like it's spiritless. It has nothing to it. It's just pretty colors to look at, to put on an office wall in a hospital somewhere, and you get a feel for it after a while. What's art and what is not. What is just filler content, chuffa, I think they call it in the movie industry, when it's extra content in a script that doesn't really need to be there. It doesn't build the plot, doesn't further the plot, it doesn't help build up the characters, it doesn't have any pertinent information in it that you need. It's just a bunch of flashy colors and sounds. That's chuffa. That's just filler content. There's no real feeling behind it. There's no soul or spirit or edge. And there are people who, I felt the need to address this for a few reasons. Not just because of the commenters, because I think, again, kills a few birds with one stone. I think it'll be pertinent in the future because a lot of the suspects on my suspects list when it comes to the cult are artists in a way, shades of an artist. As I've said in past videos, painters, musicians, writers, directors, producers, so on and so forth. Some of the producers, although they tend, a lot of times the producer have always been their only title. So and just to clear up confusion, when it also addresses issues with my mom. She thinks she's an artist. She's trying to be an artist in one part of her life. It's like, I addressed this in another video. That's not really doable. Not a real artist. Maybe an art teacher or an artisan or a skilled craftsperson, someone who's very skilled at working with clay or wood, is not necessarily an artist. Are they relaying a concept? Is there deeper meaning and thought behind this, or is it just a skill that they have perfected? Is it just pretty? So there's a very real difference between artist and a skilled craftsperson, artisan. And for those of you saying, well, I work and I work a steady job and I pay the bills and I've never done any drugs and I'm an artist. No, you're not. Artists typically explore their minds, which tends to lead them into dabbling with some kind of substance, mind-altering substances, which is why we have so many artists on record in the books as having some kind of substance abuse issue of some sort. They're either alcoholics or what have you, or quite often they've done a number of things. Go watch Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Just whatever they get their hands on. Nom 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 nom. Let's see what happens. In a lot of ways, for an artist, their entire life is their artwork. And again, Stevie Nicks has a little interview about this out there you can find, where she talks about having to make this decision between whether or not she wanted to be a mother or be an artist. She realized she wanted a life as an artist and that she couldn't be a mother. She couldn't have children because one life is inherently selfish and one life is inherently selfless. Okay, to be an artist is to be very, very selfish. It's to be living in your mind quite often, thinking about things. So it's not necessarily narcissistic. You're not necessarily thinking about yourself, or you're thinking about yourself and how you work up here. But you could also just be thinking about how the whole world works, how life works. But also, and you're trying to put it into something tangible, some kind of tangible content, something that will relay this feeling to others and make this connection with others, or spread this question. Make people see something from a point of view they wouldn't necessarily see it from. That's what you're trying to do with, the tangible part of that. Whether it's you're creating a video, movie, writing a book, painting a painting. That's an artist. And a lot of that is done in your head, trying to figure all that out. You can go long periods of time without having a lot of tangible, anything to show for your work as an artist. It makes it hard to make money, makes it hard to pay the bills, makes it hard to support a family and be responsible. Okay? So, I find it hard to believe that your daddy worked hard, regular job, paid the bills, supported a family, and was an artist. I find that very hard to believe. They're telling me happy birthday. Sorry, I'm getting a message. It's going to be my birthday tomorrow. They're throwing me a little party here today because somebody else here has a birthday today. So it's like a joint party. I have to go get ready for that. So anyway, yeah, I wanted to clear that up. There is a big difference between artist and artisan, skilled craftsperson. I don't care that your daddy or you, whoever, you never did any drugs, and you've always followed the rules, and you've always paid your bills, and you've always been responsible. I hesitate to call you an artist then. I really do. Sorry. You're a skilled craftsperson. You're maybe an artisan. You're not an artist. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to mention. I was having a chuckle with myself about one of the chaos agents I was thinking of earlier. I'm going to hold off mentioning his name. I don't want to give him a chance to make a run for it. Surprise attacks on videos. But some of them see it coming. I'm seeing it coming. And should be prepared by now. That's something I wanted to mention. For any authorities out there who might actually be paying attention to this and taking it seriously. And thinking like, let's see if we can't get some evidence on these dudes. Here's something you're not going to want to do. You're not going to want to raid their houses where they live. That would be stupid. That would be a stupid waste of government resources. Don't do it. If I can see how stupid it is, then you should be able to see how stupid it is. And if you don't see how stupid it is, you shouldn't have your job. Why is it stupid? Let me explain. I'll explain in this way. I'm pretty ding-dang-dong sure at this point in my research, remember like over 20 years of looking into religions and mythologies and the history of them and the stories being like underneath the stories, and I'm pretty sure that the true Devil's Bible, if there is such a thing, if there really is, and I do think that there's a group of people out there that are real, not the dudes, not the kids, wearing black and making pentagons and burning candles. They're babies. Not even like Anton LaVey. I'm pretty sure he's a patsy. The real ones will never put themselves out there in public, not in that context. I don't think they ever really would. They want to be your icons. They want you to worship them. They're real devil worshipers. The devil wants to be loved unconditionally because he's a child. Because men understand that they can't be loved unconditionally by anyone but their mothers, and that their wife, and their children are not their mommy, and their wife actually has to put conditions on them. Like, he has to pull his weight, or she's got to fucking replace him because she's got children to worry about. She's their mommy. She's not his fucking mommy. Same for the kids. They are his responsibility, not the other way around. right? So a boy, a little child, doesn't understand this. He expects to be loved unconditionally. Typically because his mommy did not give him the unconditional love he needed. So he still needs it, and he seeks it wherever he can get it. And unfortunately, these men pair up with females that remind them of their mothers, and they try to get the unconditional love they didn't get from their mothers from the partner, and that's unfair to both she and the kids. Sorry, I'm going off down a bit of a tangent. They want to be loved unconditionally. They want to be idolized. They want to be worshipped. They're going to set themselves up in that way. Anton LaVey sort of pulled it off, but way more people out there, I think, just think he's either doofus, loser, creep. I mean, the real ones are going to be, like, setting themselves up in positions where, I mean, just everyone will love them. There's that. The best way to hide a secret is in plain sight. I think I've said this before. So I think that the Devil's Bible, if there is such a thing, would be the actual Bible, the Christian Bible, just read in a different way. So that's how you could have a devil worshiper, a hardcore, underground, born into it, devil worshiper, worshiping the fallen child, the giant toddler throwing a temper tantrum, wants to be the center of attention all the time. That's how you can have that dude sitting in a church next to another typical Christian, reading from the same book, the same exact passage, but they're taking two different things away from it because this one's been taught totally different things growing up than this one. So, in my opinion, if there is such a thing as the Devil's Bible, it is probably the actual Bible and just being read in a different way. And maybe even any official scripture, just read in a different way. You know, official scripture for any other religion. How did I get onto this? Like I said, I'm stretching my my ADHD meds. So it's a bit harder for me to focus right now. Hence my avoiding making videos the past couple of days. Plus, getting used to riding the horses, been taking the horses out. You gotta know the routine. Backtrack, cat. Think. The Devil's Bible is likely the Christian Bible. Ugh, flies. I'm trying to wipe everything down in here and just really sterilize and clean. Because I am parked up right near the bar. And flies. You'll have to forgive me. I've lost my train. I missed it. So maybe you guys can make the connection that I was trying to make, because I can't seem to loop it back around. Now my mind's starting to focus on how soon are they trying to throw this party for me? How soon do I have to get ready? Because I was trying to just put out this video and go grab some lunch from the local food place. I don't have much better food in here yet. I got stocked up with stuff for the cats. I found massive one here, some here. They didn't show up at first, but I since found them right here. I can feel it. But they're doing good. They're really not that. They're not that bad. I was like, oh shit, there you are. I was feeling it. Damn. You guys make the connection. I'm sorry. Oh, damn, it's already like 20 minutes on this fucking video. It's only supposed to be a short one. No, maybe I'll remake it. But just so you know, I'm alive. And they didn't get me yet. Alright, I'm gonna end it and go have my birthday cake.